very different about that first cheese. Almost all common cheeses are ivory colored. This particular one is called Niagara Gold. It's from a producer in Jordan Station. If any of you are from the area, you probably know them. Upper Canada Cheese opened their doors in, I think, 2005, 2006. And they were able to get this incentive milk quota to make some artisan cheeses. So this quota became available through Dairy Farmers of Ontario as an incentive for Ontario producers to come up with some new cheeses. So we don't, what we're trying for with this is to get some new cheeses that aren't here already. We've got a lot of cheddars, we do wonderful with them, we've got a lot of bries, camemberts, that kind of thing. So the idea is to get some of these newer cheeses. So they have to send it in and it gets approved, and then they get this milk quota for a set period of time to play with it and see if it works for them. So obviously with Upper Canada it has, and they've gone on to do some other cheeses. They started off with 2. So what's unique about Upper Canada cheese is they get their milk from a single herd of Guernsey cows. And it's from a farm that's here in the Niagara Peninsula called the Comfort Farm. And it's been in the family for 5 generations. And it's a herd of Guernsey cows. And Guernsey cows are renowned for the milk that they produce. It's very rich, very high in proteins and butter fat. And so that is reflected in the color of this cheese. You get this really nice golden color. Guernsey cows produce about half the milk of a whole state. So small producers, but very rich milk, so which is really good for cheese. So Niagara Gold, they've named it Niagara, of course, after the Niagara region, gold after the golden color that comes through in this cheese. And it's what we call a washed rind cheese. And washed rind cheeses originated in France. They were originally made by the monks, so this is a Trappist style of cheese. And the monks, it's really interesting how this cheese developed. They had to, part of their rules, their working rules, was they had to produce whatever food that they were eating. And the rule of Benedictine was that you had to have 2 forms of protein on the food, and many times they weren't allowed to have meat. So cheese was a really good way for them to get their protein. And also they were really good in making beer. That was another thing that they did. So it's kind of interesting how this cheese evolved, but that's kind of a little bit about the history